Lene.
Yes, Uche. I'm sorry, I just sent a text message to our mystery tweeter so that they would know what the hell was going on.
Well, it's now saying that it's live.
Okay, now it's live.
It's saying it's live on my end.
Okay,
So
it's saying it's live on my end too.
I hope that means that people are here. I hope that
I
means that
hope
people
so
can see
too.
us now.
Okay, so why don't I have somebody check our Google Plus link?
Okay, so Kiri just said she can hear us now.
Okay, okay, all right. Let's try this out. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
Okay,
Red
so
leather, yellow
everybody
leather.
apparently can see us now.
Okay, look it go.
Oh, right. Way to go. Because it wouldn't be Hip Hop is for Lovers if we didn't have a technical fucking difficulty.
All right, mystery tweeter said we live. It's all the way the fuck live.
It's
Let
all the way to
go.
fuck live,
So
finally,
do we
in
need
this
to do
motherfucker.
we need to have a whole another conversation? I think so. Let's,
Yeah,
all
so
right,
like we had a whole
welcome.
15 minutes of talking.
It was not lit enough, I guess.
Um,
But let's go back.
so
Hip
the
hop is
first
for
thing we
lovers.
talked about was what
Wait. Uche, introduce yourself. You
okay.
guys.
So okay, first okay. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you all for tuning in to the Hip Hop is for Lovers live stream, albeit late. You know, that's kind of what happens with us sometimes. We have technical difficulties.
It happens.
Anyway, my name is Uche. I was host, co-creator of Hip Hop is for Lovers Radio, and with me is Lene.
Hey y'all.
I was gonna say hello, Cookie.
Hello, cook. Say
Ring
hello.
ring.
Hello.
So so we wanted to do a live stream because we're going to try some different kind of things this time with bringing Hip Hop is for Lovers back. We will not be a live radio show anymore, but you can expect to have more live streams from us as we begin to do a monthly podcast,
Yep.
right?
We're we're the
So
first
anyway,
original podcast.
let's talk about where we've been for the last year. Lene, where have you been for the last?
Uche, where you been?
I asked you where you been.
Where you been? But where you been? No, I'm joking. All right. I have I've moved away from New York. I moved twice actually. I returned home to Philadelphia last May. I I have been prioritizing my personal growth and improvement in a really specific way. So I found myself a job. I found myself a place to
You
live
gotta
in.
remember to talk it to the microphone.
Oh yeah. I gotta talk into the microphone, y'all. My bad. You know how you used to have that one landline phone you couldn't move the wrong way because it is shut off. That's what my headphones are to me right now. I I'm back in Philly full time. I live here. I love here. I'm growing here. I go to therapy here. My family's here. My friends are here. And now that I'm settled in a little bit more, I get to work on more creative stuff. And coming back to Hip Hoppers for Lovers is part of that. I've also been undertaking a few little projects here and there. I am also, just so y'all know, relaunching and navigating and negotiating intimacy very soon. I shouldn't say I am. We are. Excuse me. It's on the radar for the future. And yeah, I'm living my life and taking really good care of myself and fucking with your stud auntie whenever
Word.
possible.
I mean,
what if, what about you, Uche? Where you
somebody's
been?
gotta fuck with your stud auntie.
Where your ass was at?
Where my ass is at? Where my ass has been is now Houston, Texas. I am have been living here for the last year, almost a year and a half. I'm now practicing yogi. Y'all remember when I used to make fun of yoga? But a bitch is a real yoga practitioner now, bitch. I be, doing my thing. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what post New York life is like for me. I definitely have missed creating content for Hip Hop is for Lovers, seeing you, spending weeks with, or, Wednesday nights with you, laughing and talking about all kinds of things that matter to us. Yeah. So many things happened like the year that we were gone. What's one thing that you wish that we were on the air for?
Kanye and fucking Amber. Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God. I really do wish we were on the air for that. Because that shit happened on a Wednesday.
It sure the fuck did happen on a Wednesday.
Like I felt it in my spirit.
I was just so fucking happy that Amber actually just finally clapped the fuck back. I was like, yes, bitch, let that nigga know that you know his shit, okay? And like I had to have a conversation with somebody who were trying to say that the topic was homophobic, that what she said was homophobic. And I was like, I said, why do hyper heteros always think that anything dealing with the anus means gay? I was like stop having vanilla froyo from TCBY sex. Get you some good red mango or some shit. Get you some, explore your options on the yogurt tip. Get you some sprinkles. Or as I learned recently, Jimmy's. Isn't that what they call it?
Some people call them Jimmy's. In Philly, they call them Jimmy's. They call Jimmy's. And if somebody don't call them Jimmy's, don't trust them. They ain't no actual.
Get you some sprinkles. Get you some fresh fruit in your froyo. But, stop thinking that every time somebody talks about a man's ass or stimulating a man's ass, that it has to do that they must be gay or something. Like, get you a better sex life. But that's,
I mean, but also, so let's talk about the fact that Kanye, this all started off with Kanye insulting Wiz, right? Because Wiz's Khalifa Kush, he was like, get some KK and have your life improve or whatever the fuck. And Kanye decided that Kim's initials somehow only belong to her, number one. Number two, that he was somehow the arbiter of what should be offensive to her or what's not. But that's another conversation for another time, because I really do think that he sees her as his own creation and not a fucking person. And he decided to start a fight and told this man, you wouldn't have a kid if it wasn't for me. Which I think is pretty high on the list of things that should get a nigga faded early.
Well,
y'all know
you own my kid
because I said early. Right. So you came out your face about somebody's kid, number one. Number two, Kanye only did that shit as a segue into saying some wild shit about Amber, whom he has not let go of in any shape, form, or fashion.
You know what somebody said to me that made a lot of sense, because I don't believe that he wants to still be in a relationship with her. I think he has a problem with the fact that she's still relevant, even though he's not in her life.
Yes.
I think that is really like his problem, that she still went on to have a technically a rich nigga baby. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's still in these streets. You know what I mean? You thought she was gonna fade into high yellow bitch obscurity, but she didn't. And so you mad. And you can't control it. So you feel like you just gotta insult her. That 30 fucking showers, oh my motherfucking God. When I tell y'all I was lit, like he said that about me, do you see my eyes right now? I was mad. So when Amber said, you miss me, you miss my finger around your little asshole, nigga. Yeah, that nigga said, he closed the piano like, what time to go? That was a Color
Like,
Purple reference for all y'all.
but yeah. Oh, if you're new to Hip Hop is for Lovers, or if it's been a while for you, y'all know we stay with Color Purple references. Y'all know.
Um,
Um,
so yeah, that
Something that
was
I picked
one
up on
definitely
also.
one of the things that I wish we were online for.
I also I kind of wish that we had been around for, because we didn't have what I feel was this conversation often enough, the absentee parent slash child support conversation, and it would have been sparked by Future and Sierra, but it wouldn't have centered around them.
Well,
Um,
even to have the conversation about moving on in the co-parenting conversation, right? Because, like
yes,
the fact that people think that Sierra having her child around Russell, what's his name?
Wilson,
Russell Wilson,
Russell Wilson.
um, is disrespectful to a nigga, to what? Like, let me just stop
Right,
you. Let me just
right.
stop you. Like, disrespectful, like that goes back to that patriarchy of ownership, right? That just because a bitch had a baby for you means you own her now. Like you still get dibs on something, like what? And so her having your child that you haven't seen, or you're not taking care of properly, or not doing what you're supposed to do, right? And you mad because
Right.
she got her nigga that obviously respect her, right? that
Who
obviously
respects her and is
that
parenting your kid.
right, that obviously understands she a package deal, right? Because then, if we'd have saw her without her kid and we know Future ain't got the kid, then folks would have something to say about that too.
Right.
Yeah.
That when you hold it
Future.
up to the light, when you
Yeah.
hold it up to the light, no, it don't. The curl don't curl all the way over. And something, and I for those of you who follow me on the Twitters, um I had some words about that, about, and not just not just the defamation suit, which I think is completely fucking justified, because Future literally only went on the quote unquote offensive when he realized that there were boundaries that she was no longer willing to let him violate.
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed, when he tweeted, "I can't even see baby Future when I want wop. First of all, you got like 50, 11 other kids you need to spend time with. So maybe your time management skills are fucked right now and you need this structure. But also, if you've never been present and you were half-assing it when y'all were together, then you are less than half-assing it now. You don't get to have the expectation any longer that you have it like you had it before. The dynamic has changed. The relationship has changed. And something I said on Twitter was, under no circumstances will an absentee parent show up unless they fucking feel like they need to. I don't care what's going on. I think it was Two Dope Boys. They tweeted like, "Oh man, um, Future has to issue Russell Wilson the fade now." And I was like, "Hold up, y'all are assuming Future would show up to fade the nigga. He don't show up for
But
his
because if
baby.
he was
He was like
showing
showing
up,
up to fight the nigga that's fathering him.
well, because if the
The
nigga
fuck?"
was showing up, we wouldn't even be having this motherfucking conversation, right? And it's just like a fuck nigga. It's just like a fuck nigga to be like, I can't even see baby Future when I want to. Because if you
But
was
you don't
really
want
trying,
to.
no, because if you was really trying to see baby Future, you'd be seeing him whenever you wanted to. How about that? It ain't about
Like,
somebody got to let you do something. You'd have been making it happen. This is what I don't understand. But anyway,
be, because
we
that's
could go on and
because of
on
an
about
investment.
Sierra and Future, right?
Because of an
Um,
investment. Let's be clear.
so like another thing, well, like first of all, I just want to talk about 2016 being kind of the year of the Black girl. Shout out to us.
Hell yeah, fucking right. Shout out to
Black
all of us.
girls been, I mean, and so like y'all know how much of a new convert I am to the Beyonce. I don't know, can I say I'm a new convert? I think I got solidified into the Beyonce, into the Bayhive after the surprise album, right? Because, you know, we did a whole
Change the
show on a
world.
surprise album.
Listen.
Right? And so then Beyonce dropped Formation. Can I tell y'all, only thing I could hear is, the only thing I could hear watching that video is "Shut the fuck up when it's Black girl time." Shout out to Beauty Jackson, because "Shut the fuck up when it's Black girl time." I was like, oh, I'm here for everything that this is about, even the fucked upness that people are going to have for it. I'm still here for it. Like, still here for it. Because people definitely had their issues with it, of course. You know, we have to deal with the fact that she refers to herself as Creole and separates Negro from Creole, which is a thing in the South.
It's a thing. So when I was on the Black Girl Dangerous podcast a few weeks ago, we talked about that. And I was like, so here's the problem with a lot of the critique that I'm witnessing, that I'm observing, because I didn't participate in a lot of it because first of all, everything ain't got to be analyzed. Sometimes you just want to shake your ass. Sometimes you just want to be a Black girl and you don't want to think about it first. So for me, as a Northerner, as somebody from this region of the country, I grew up here. My folks are from the South, but they're from the Carolinas. They're not from the Gulf Coast. They're not from Louisiana or Mississippi.
They're not from Florida. The deep South.
They're not from the deep, deep South. So part of my context is Creoles exist because there were Black Creoles and there were white Creoles. There's shit I learned in my U.S. history classes. There are things I've read about, and Creole is not. And though Creole was an identifier along the lines of closer to white and therefore better than quote unquote regular Black folk, there's a specific cultural tradition that comes with that. So, and given that Black people in this country are mixed by and large, it don't bother me the way it chafes some of y'all, because I think some of y'all wanted to be more special than a quote unquote Texas Bama because y'all went to school and she didn't, and somehow she richer than you and get to have her whole ass out in a fucking onesie every day if she chooses to do so for the rest of her natural life. I'm just
I want to talk about how it wasn't a popular conversation, but I did notice some people try to discredit, you know, to talk about her Super Bowl performance as if it's still about the male gaze, right? She's still in a leotard.
Jesus.
She's still in a, you know, like, why does it have to be that? And I just was like you, what? It's like, whatever I can find to take something away from Beyonce's excellence, I need to take away from it, right? Because like Beyonce has talked about her issues with perfectionism, right? And so then we could talk about her excellence, right? Because she likes to do things in excellence, right? Bitch, yes, we're going to get in motherfucking formation. Do you understand what formation means? Right? You want to talk about like what kind of military precision when we talk about formation, bands talk about formation, all kinds of things talk about formation dance, you know, and her level of excellence. But we're going to take away anything to discredit anything that she could possibly say, right? Because it's Beyonce, because she's a capitalist, right? And most of the time when people say that, I'd be like, okay, so like, the fact that we're even talking on a cell phone is you engaging in capitalism, or the fact that you even tweeting this is you engaging in capitalism. The fact that you have on clothes is you engaging in capitalism. So like, what are you going to do? How are you going to disenfranchise yourself from capitalism if you expect Beyonce to? How do you expect that? How do you connect those two?
Yes.
Right? Yes. The fact that you went to an education and you paid for it and you got student loans, boo, you engaged in motherfucking capitalism. So you mad at Beyonce because what? Right?
Because she didn't save you from capitalism, or you did but so that goes back to something I also talked about on the Black Girl Dangerous podcast, and to another level, I talked about it on my Twitter timeline. Wanting Beyonce, who is a Black femme, right, to do the heavy lifting, to do the work of disengaging from capitalism. First of all, we don't have an alternate system in place, my nigga. Number one.
Right.
Number two, why she got to do more than you within the system? She has more than you have, stands to lose more than you do, and if the whole shit collapses, still walks out of this shit with more than you have. You're still at the bottom, but with no new system, you're probably going to be worse off.
And so, and my thing is that why can't we just celebrate the, like, now acknowledging that somebody wants to pick up the conversation? Like, Beyonce is motherfucking huge, right? She is the huge, like, y'all remember when Michael folks was passing out for Michael Jackson, crying and shit? People do that for Beyonce. And Beyonce made a song called Formation that was specifically for Black women, right? Specifically for us, right? And we still want to find a way to push her away from us, to make her not be of us. And I don't know, it just was like disheartening, but I loved it. I loved every minute of Formation. I loved the Super Bowl. I loved the music video. I loved Blue Ivy in her dress. You know, like I
loved all that blackness.
I told this one girl, I said, if you don't understand the sentence, I like my baby hair with baby hair and afros, and don't understand why she say baby hair twice, it's not for you. Nope, not for you.
It's not. It's not for you. And as a matter of fact, even if you understand as a non-Black person of color or as a white person, it's still not for you. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I mean, you know, like, hey, there is that.
It's still not for you. And for something I got from the song specifically was the idea that Beyonce gets to do what she wants if it pleases her. So a Black woman censoring her pleasure, a Black femme censoring her pleasure is problematic to people who don't want Black femmes to be pleased.
Did you just drop a mic?
Anybody want to tweet a bomb emoji on it?
It's lit. Oh, snap.
Like, I think it's very important to remember, first of all, everything ain't for you. Second of all, nobody asked you. Third of all, Beyonce don't even know you exist. Why you complaining?
You know what? No, third of all, shut up when it's Black girl time. Shut the fuck up.
You're right.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up when it's Black girl time.
Sit down and shut the fuck up when it's Black girl time. How about that?
Beyonce doesn't.
Everybody will be a lot happier.
You out here trying to have motherfuckers out here writing hit pieces about Beyonce and Rihanna, and we're gonna talk about Rihanna in just a second. Making hit pieces on Black cultural output because they're trying to get on, and the people doing it the most are fucking Black people.
Well, then there is that. But you know, we can talk about that. We can talk about that. We'll expound about that later.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, like, it was just a lot of like just beautiful Black girl moments that just kind of came out in the last, you know, like year. Like, shout out to Kashawn, the PBG, whose Black girl magic just kind of blew the fuck up. Like, okay, I was like, yes. Black girl magic.
Shout out to Kashawn. Shout out to So True, Anasa. The ratchetness as praxis shirts.
I gotta give you one.
Hoodie. I am so invested in perpetuity because ratchet, first of all, because we let white people have basic, but ratchet is ours and it'll never not be. And shout out to the HipHop4Lovers archives where we did a show called Caught Up in the Ratchet. We talked about ratchetness. Shout out to our homegirl DJ Sarabella who was on that show. This is an unprecedented moment for Black people in general, for Black femmes, for Black women especially, for Black girls especially, because we have access to technology in a way that we can instantly create cultural ties. The sister that came up with the phrase "on fleek," for instance, though this girl has yet to see a penny of anything anybody's made off of her fucking saying, she changed an entire fucking lexicon, and now honestly she got copycat motherfuckers on Vine trying to come up with phrases and shit that quote unquote work, that can somehow become, viral and then make them some money. And so black femmes are always at the forefront of innovation in my experience and in my observation. And so part of Year of the Black Girl, because I believe very deeply 2016 is the Year of the Black Girl. We had the most lit Black History Month ever. Missy Elliott came the fuck back like, nigga, yo.
Missy Elliott.
Yo.
Missy Elliott tweet, New Edition. Like, everybody was just Kendrick dropping secret albums. I mean, listen, I was so happy to see that Kendrick Lamar album because those were all the songs that I really liked. Well, the performances that he did that were on To Pimp a Butterfly. And Kendrick deserves to be talked about because while he is, we love his blackness. He is not a perfect ambassador of, he definitely, there's a conversation to be had about his misogyny.
Absolutely.
And his conversation around Black women. But not tonight because this is just a podcast. But I want to give a shout out. What?
Also, real quick before we move on, his engagement level with blackness is, for some of us, myself included, very Africana Studies 101. And
completely
a
get
lot
that.
of the pushback that I've observed has been that he's not more advanced. And I'm like, everybody starts somewhere. If you want somebody that fucking on point, start following Civil Justice on fucking Twitter and shut the fuck up. Okay, go ahead.
Each one teach one. Hey, how about that?
Right.
Like, where were you when you became woke? Nobody was woke out the womb. Okay. It's like that question. I was in, I think, a workshop recently where they asked, when did you discover you were Black? How old were you when you realized you were Black? It's a great ass conversation. Mm-hmm. Great question that we're not going to address right now. But I want to give a shout out.
Wow, we can talk about that later.
I want to give a shout out to the people that are in our inboxes, in our in our mentions,
in our box. Uche, girl, what?
Remember, so we used to tell people to get in our box, our DM box. Closet freaks, as we would call you guys, who would be in our DMs.
Closet freaks.
Closet freaks, and you can still be in our DMs if we're following you and you following us and you want to share something, but you don't want it to be shared that it's you. You can always get in our DMs. And
our DMs are open.
We will call you a closet freak. But I definitely wanted to give a shout out to the Mary Misandrist.
Hello, Mary.
Who she was saying that she loves. I am loving at Dope Girl Fresh on HipHop4Lovers.
Hi, Mary.
The Misandry's mistress. I love all this misandrists.
Listen,
is that a thing?
Five ever. Miss Andrew 5 ever.
The angry fangirl, Honey, Shantae Fabulous, Barry, who's from Podcasts of Color, Big Prov, Isan Amin, Kiri, Wise Diva. I just want to make sure I hit a couple of people, shout out a couple of people. Disable, I can't say it right, but just want to make sure that I gave you guys, a shout out for just being in our mentions and tuning in to our live stream and us coming back to HipHop4Lovers.
Yes.
Yes. Really,
and everyone who's
go ahead.
Everyone who's, observing from afar, everybody who's in Google Plus, everybody who's just streaming and not like directly engaging with us, that's fine. We're just glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for holding it down and welcoming us back in this particular way. It's really nice. I'm about to say something real crunchy and woo-woo, right? Real granola. Me and Uche are a little granola up in here.
I'm working on owning my granola.
I'm working on mine too. I'm the fuck crunchy. I'm also Bougetto. A lot of things are happening. I hold multiple realities.
I contain multitudes.
Ya bitch. I it's nice to be back. It's nice to be welcomed back. It's nice to be in this community with you all. It's nice to be in conversation with my boo Uche.
Hey,
If
girl.
y'all have been following the show, y'all know Uche is like my homie. I'm the stringer bell to her Avon Barksdale.
Before we started
And
stabbing before they started stabbing each other in the back.
yeah, before that, I would never have her nephew murked, okay? And she would never have me murdered by Brother Muzone and
Never.
Omar Little in a not never. But we, everything before that, like if Uche got out of jail, I would totally get her some hoes. I would totally get her some hoes because
I
I
appreciate.
care.
I appreciate
You
that.
know,
I appreciate that.
we do what we can. We take care of one another. Um, but yeah, it's just nice to be back. It's nice to be back. I'm looking forward to what we're gonna do with the podcast. And yes, for those of you who wonder, Sexy News will still be part of the show.
Of course, we can't. There was a lady dancing on top of a 18-wheeler
The
yesterday
other day, yes.
in the city that I live in, on one of the most fucked up highways that already is known for its traffic. She decided at 7:30 a.m. it was time to dance on top of an 18-wheeler. How she got up there, she's dancing on a big rig. Yes, it's a lot. But of course, Sexy News has to come back so we can tell you all about those kinds of things happening.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And if y'all want us to sing the Sexy News theme song, put a couple dollars in that HipHop4Lovers PayPal on this evening. We taking a collection.
Well, so like that's also like a part of it. So I think we're gonna start a Patreon account for some of our content, just to kind of keep it going, because last time we did Hip Hop is for Lovers, I was completely funding it myself, with the exception of a couple of an Indiegogo campaign that was not as successful as we would have liked it to be, but we definitely want to keep making Hip Hop is for Lovers content. So when we put out the call for support, we know you guys are going to show up because you have always showed up for us, and we're happy to be coming back. Some of the other things that you can expect for us to come back is some more of a social media presence. We're going to be on Facebook. We're going to be on Twitter. We might even tackle Tumblr. But we're definitely going to tackle our Facebook, because our Facebook, I felt like we just kind of just let it collect cobwebs and dust and
Yeah. It's important to me that we are visible in ways that we were not before. So that's part of what's changing with the podcast format. I think we'll have the opportunity to curate. So many folks like that word. We're curating and creating an archive of our work, and we are we're kind of making our mark. We're putting our flag down in a particular place, and we're like, this is Hip Hop is for Lovers land. This is our shit, and it's important to me, as we're in this larger cultural moment, that is still that is so shaken up by Beyonce saying something about being black in one of her songs, because these crazy racist white people trying to take America back or whatever the fuck and make America great again and all this other shit. So in the face of all this white fear and this attempt to kind of like further erase and destroy blackness, we have created this space that is black folk centered, and I love that. It's important to me. It matters, and I know it matters to a lot of y'all. Like the culture, we doing it for the culture, basically. We doing it for the culture. We're here for y'all, and we're here for each other. Yes.
Y'all. What? I'm trying to figure out what else needs to, like, how else.
What?
So Jaden Stewart said, I just want to tell you beautiful ladies that I'm here watching. You're great. I'm trying to hear the sexy music theme song.
Oh man.
Sexy news theme song.
Should we do it, Uche? We got
you know what? Let's do it. We'll do it right before we close out the show. We'll do it before we close out the show.
All right.
We have like 8 minutes. So our first podcast is going to come out March 23rd. We have a date. we do not actually have a complete topic. So if you guys have some suggestions, you should definitely hit us up on social media profiles, Twitter, Facebook, hell, Google Plus, because we're here now. And let us know what you think we should talk about. I definitely know that one of the conversations I want to have again is the consent motherfucking conversation. After watching Amber Rose have to talk to Rev Run and Tyrese about consent and motherfuckers just getting consent just completely fucked up. Apparently there just needs to be it just needs to be broke down so it can forever be broke and consistently be broke.
I would love to have that conversation again. A conversation I would really like to have. Holler if you hear me. all my queer folks out here, and this is something I experienced as a queer woman. What happens when straight girls I don't want to say infiltrate because that sounds like we're an exclusive club and we don't let people in, and that's not true at all. In my experience, what happens when somebody's experimenting with queerness, and what kind of havoc do they wreak? Or if you want to explore your queerness, how do you do that without being a completely fucked up individual?
Well, I think that would actually be a dope ass conversation because I think I have something to add to that motherfucking conversation.
Okay. I know I do. I know I do because in a past life I was straight.
Well, especially just talking about the idea of calling yourself queer and what queer means. That definitely is a conversation that could be had. I recently had an interesting conversation with a gynecologist who asked me my sexuality, and I said, "Oh, I'm queer," and she's like, "You mean, do you sleep with women or do you sleep with men?" And I was like, "Technically, I'm not sleeping with anyone right now, but I probably would be open to both," which is why I'm saying I'm queer versus why I'm saying I'm a homosexual or a heterosexual, or I'm not really sure right now. And I don't know if is that relevant to my care?
I mean,
but that's a conversation to have, to talk about gender again. Definitely. Remember, we had a gender conversation.
Absolutely.
We've talked about a lot of things on Hip Hop is for Lovers.
A conversation I would like to bring back. We did. We had a gender 101 with our homegirl Veronica, aka Vero con Platanos on Twitter. That's our boo. A conversation I would like to bring back is the conversation about passion.
Passion.
And I also want to have a conversation about building intimacy. We did a show about celibacy. I want to have a conversation about building intimacy because I think a lot of people still, even adults, do not understand that intimacy is not just physical or sexual specifically.
Right.
And I want to have another conversation about parenting.
Definitely, definitely would like to talk more. I would like to have more a conversation about not about, but with the transgender community. I have some friends in the city who've recently made some major changes in their lives, and definitely has some things to say. And I definitely want to be a part of a conversation that talks about trans people, and what it means to be a trans person and how your life is affected as a trans person. Definitely always wanted to talk about.
And also, when we're having these conversations about transness or gender variance, I feel like it's super important that we have the conversations with folks. As you said, we need to have the conversation with people.
I don't want to have it about them. I want to have it with them. Because I'm not a trans person, and neither are you, Lene, and no more. And as much as we can say we empathize or kind of can get it, we don't know it. And they are the persons who, you kind of want to be able to give that platform to. So those are definitely some things that we're going to talk about soon. 4 minutes until we close.
Okay, so let's do this real quick. What's one thing you're really looking forward to about this rebirth of HipHopers for Lovers?
being with the lovers again. I love the Twitter. I love the Facebook. I love everybody having something to say. I love the amens. I love the hallelujahs. I love the yes, y'all speaking my life. Or, I love how informative
Right.
our audience is. I love how smart our audience is. So yeah, I'm looking forward
Yes.
to the lovers, essentially.
You stole my answer. Damn.
Oh,
Now, I also am looking forward to being in conversation with our folks. I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to being able to capture these moments in our greater culture and specifically within hip hop culture. I'm looking forward to the spontaneity and coining awesome phrases kind of on the fly. Don't forget, y'all, you can never surprise anybody with anal. Um like, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the creativity. I'm looking forward to the conversation. And I'm also looking forward to down the road doing some live face-to-face interaction with our listenership.
yes.
I know that I know that there's a lot of, I don't want to say competition because that's bullshit. We're not competing with anybody. There are a lot of opportunities to interact with people's digital media, and there's a lot of opportunities to do live tapings, et cetera, et cetera. As a lot of y'all remember, we were live for 3 years, consistently. And what that means for us is Uche and I work really well on our toes. And so I'm looking forward to including you all in that. Maybe y'all want to have us, you know, do a talk, or maybe y'all want to have us record the show at your
Well,
school or at your
definitely, a
place of
Hip
work,
Hop is
or
for Lovers
you know.
tour is definitely going to happen. We just have not fully fleshed out those ideas, though that space. But when we were doing the live show, we had people offer to come and pay and sit in to watch the live show while we recorded, while we were
Yeah.
live. So I feel like if Hip Hop is for Lovers wanted to come to California, or if Hip Hop is for Lovers wanted to, say, come to South by Southwest in 2017, this is me just, kind of like dropping hints. Or if Hip Hop is for Lovers wanted to, hit up New York and do something live, we definitely be open to it, and definitely be open to having the conversation. Hey, let us host some shit for y'all,
Bring us to wherever you are.
Bring us
And
to
for
your
those of you who
college.
bring us to your school.
Bring us to your
We
college.
we be reading and shit. We know all them big words and shit. We want to host your film screenings. We did that talk back for big words in 2014, and that was really wonderful. We want to come back to the things that we were doing before, but we want to also improve the experience for all involved. Okay, it is 9:29. You
Okay.
know what that means, Uche? You ready?
It's so weird to do it on camera.
I know. I have to close my eyes. Okay. All right,
It's
I'm
time
body
for
rolling. You ready?
it's time for sexy news.
Sexy
Sex
news.
and news.
Sexy
If it's
news.
sex, if it's news,
Uh,
we're gonna talk about it.
uh.
Sexy news, y'all. It don't work because
It doesn't.
it's too many
It doesn't.
cues. But y'all knew the gist of it, and y'all can sing the sexy news theme song for yourselves. Some sexy news that just recently actually came out is this clitoris masturbation thing that happens. I'm gonna have to drop the link on our tweet where
Hell
like
yeah.
these women are going to these own masturbation centers and basically having the left quadrant of their clitoris, until they bust off.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
drop the link on
I'm
that
gonna have to
soon.
get all into this.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to Hip Hop is for Lovers. We're so glad. We're so excited about what's next. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to contribute to us, you got a topic you think we should share, hit us up. Use the HHFL hashtag, or actually preferably use the Hip Hop is for Lovers hashtag. That's HIPHOP HipHop4Lovers. Or just add us.
So
Lene,
listen,
you have
at
any?
me.
Add me,
I'm
though.
at
Add
Baby
a
Girl
dap me.
Fresh. At me or dat me. Y'all
And
remember
I'm
that?
at Beauty by
You going
Uche, and we thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah. Thank you all. I'm gonna go drink some water and take off this makeup and try to act like I got a day job to go to tomorrow. Um, good night, Uche. I'll holler
Good
at you.
night,
Good
Lene.
night,
I love
everybody.
you.
I love you too, boo. Bye.